guys, welcome to Screen and Soul. Let me ask you something right at the start. Have you ever watched a movie for maybe 10-15 seconds and you just know who directed it? No credits, no title card, nothing, just the frames, the colors, the movement, and your brain goes, yeah, this has to be Wes Anderson. That's exactly what we're going to be talking about right now, or rather, who we're going to be talking about. Wes Anderson is one of those rare filmmakers who doesn't just make films, he builds worlds. And the crazy part is, those worlds are specific, controlled, visually distinct, that you can recognize them instantly. Let's start with the obvious thing people always notice first: symmetry. Oh man, the symmetry in Wes Anderson movies. It's not just nice framing or good composition, it feels like everything is locked into place perfectly. Centered characters, perfectly balanced backgrounds, every object feeling like it was placed there with surgical precision. And then you notice the colors. They stand out instantly, becoming a part of the visual identity of the film. It's almost like the entire film has been carefully designed rather than naturally captured. From the pastel elegance of the Grand Budapest Hotel to the nostalgic wilderness of Moonrise Kingdom, each film doesn't just look different from a Hollywood standpoint. It looks like it belongs to an entirely different universe altogether, one that only exists in Wes Anderson's head. What actually makes his film stand out is what's underneath. A lot of his stories circle around the same emotional core: family dysfunction, lonely outsiders, people searching for meaning in slightly broken worlds, and this constant chase for some kind of idealized perfection that never quite exists. And that's where it gets interesting, because the visuals are perfect, but the people inside them are not. In other words, somehow all of his worlds feel both surreal and strangely relatable, or familiar at the same time. Take Darjeeling Limited, for example. Three brothers, emotionally distant, trying to reconnect while traveling across India on a train. On paper, it sounds simple, but the way Wes Anderson frames it, the colors, the pacing, the silence between characters, it turns into this quiet, emotional search for connection, while looking unique too. Then you have the Royal Tenenbaums, a family of former child prodigies, all grown up now, all successful in their own strange ways, but emotionally stuck. It's funny, it's awkward, it's sad, sometimes all at once, in the same scene, all while keeping the visual aesthetic intact. And then he goes completely different with the Fantastic Mr. Fox, stop-motion animation. But even here, you still feel it, the symmetry, the rhythm, the dry humor. It's unmistakably him. Because that's the thing about Wes Anderson. He doesn't just change his voice for the medium. The medium just bends around his voice. And what really sets him apart from almost every other filmmaker is that his tone manages to hold in every frame. A mix of humor, sadness, and loneliness. His characters are often quirky, exaggerated, almost cartoon-like on the surface. But underneath, they're dealing with real things: loss, identity, regret, disconnection. It's that balance that hits you. You laugh in one moment and then you suddenly realize what you're watching is kind of heartbreaking.
You see, there are still faint glimmers of civilization left in this barbaric slaughterhouse that was once known as humanity.
The Life Aquatic. On the surface, it's absurd. A sea expedition to hunt a mysterious shark. It shouldn't feel emotional at all. But somehow, it does, because underneath the humor, there's this quiet loneliness running through the entire film. And now, decades into his career, he is still doing it. Films like Asteroid City or Phoenician Scheme show that his style hasn't diluted over time, it has actually become even more defined. Almost like he's doubled down on his own language of cinema. Now technically there's a lot going on too. He's known for long, carefully controlled takes, camera movements that glide through perfectly built sets, like you're moving through a diorama. He often prefers practical effects and miniatures over heavy CGI, which gives everything this handmade feel. And then there's that signature move, the whip pan. Fast, rhythmic, almost playful transitions that snap you from one moment to another. It's not just a camera trick, it becomes part of the storytelling rhythm itself. At this point, Wes Anderson isn't just a director with style. In a way, he is the style. His films feel like they genuinely come from someone who refuses to dilute their imagination. In totality, when you take his visual aesthetic and stories, one thing truly stands out: his films aren't just about looking perfect. They're about imperfect people living within perfect frames. And that contrast is what makes his films truly unforgettable and unique. And if you enjoy deep dives into filmmaking styles, cinematic language, and the hidden patterns behind how films feel the way they do, please consider subscribing to my channel Screen and Soul, guys, and sharing this video. It genuinely helps me grow my channel, and I would truly appreciate that. So yes, ladies and gentlemen, Wes Anderson. Not just a filmmaker, but like a visual poet, basically. So guys, till next time, this is Screen and Soul. Peace out. Bye.